get going. Hi everybody, what's going on? If you haven't seen humans on camera before, I am Sam, my wife Amanda, and I are your fosters. We've been fostering for 7 years and have fostered over 180 cats and kittens, including that one over there, Aria, who is actually our house cat at this time. Yeah, we'll talk about where our current fosters are and what's about to happen. And yeah, our goals right now are most likely just to raise funds for whatever comes next, but possibly to get some KMR as we anticipate getting bottle babies because kitten season is in full swing. Oh man. I haven't done this in forever. We do these chats 3 times a week, Mondays at noon, Wednesdays at 9 p.m. and Saturday mornings at 9:30 a.m. We do these chats to give updates on the cats and kittens, as well as give you an opportunity to ask any questions you may have about them, what we do as fosters, cat care in general. So anything you want. And if you're out there in the chat, drop a hi or some emotes so you know you're out there lurking, but feel free to lurk. Man, I haven't done this in so long, I have forgotten all of the beats. Yowzies. Okay. Yeah, what's up everybody? How's it going? Our system is a little different, so I'm looking off into a different place and all that jazz. Here's the quick bullet points of what's happening, and when Amanda comes in, we'll talk a little more. So we've been out of the house for a week. Well, roughly a week, a little less than a week. Living in hotels, hotel life. Super fun. Our current fosters are living at the PetSmart. Many have been adopted, including Mom. And we will probably not see them again, but instead new fosters. This is our house cat Aria, who was once a foster, but is not. We did adopt her. She is our logo. That's her. That's her. And yeah, so when Amanda gets in, we'll go over all of the nitty gritties. The nitties and the gritties. Let me throw this to the different window so I can see bigger chat and sit down. What I want is this. Okay. So yeah, I am down to 1 monitor right now until that other one decides to turn on. So I'm going to leave the cameras in your control. I can, let me, why is the thing not doing the thing? This is annoying. Okay, I will try and set this to here. Okay, this I can set, and then I'm going to switch it to the chat window. All right, let's go out just a bit. Just a tab. Nope, wrong way. Okay, now I officially only see the chat and no longer see the stream video. Okay. I have like 0 voice right now. But yeah, thank you, Means, for clarifying that. Yes, the leprechaun steals your purrs, does not steal your points. Your points do not fluctuate. They only go up, and they only happen per year. So if you have, you can see the cat on 6. I have a limited amount of space. Amanda's going to come sit here. If you have earned points in a previous year, that is not reflected in this year's game. You still have those shamrocks, but you do not have those points. Is that all? All right, good. The point system is its own thing. I think the colors are a little off. It's the same camera. Yeah, it's just bright out right now. We've addressed this. Yes, there's probably no sound on YouTube. I only have 1 monitor. I am unable to change some things. Can I get to that? Maybe I can. No. Yes. Damn it. Yeah, we're experiencing some tech issues, so not everything's... The YouTube, the sound isn't even going to work in sync. I don't have the ability right now to fix it. Oh, why'd you zoom in? That can't be good. Whatever. Okay. So we're back. If closed captioning's off, I can't fix it right now. Like, that's stuck on the other monitor. This is chaotic, not being able to see what you're seeing. So, for anyone who doesn't know, we had some work done on our house after there was like a big rainfall, and we discovered that there was a giant hole in our roof, and it went straight down the walls. So this company came in to do remediation and dry out the walls and patch them back up and stuff. So we've been out for several days and came home, and it was super exciting. We ended up staying at 2 different hotels. We actually thought we were going to be gone until today, so we did get to come back early. The whole thing was kind of a crazy nightmare. But glad to be home. So as far as cats go, 4 of the cats have been adopted. Well, 4 of the kittens have been adopted. Mama Jean has been adopted, which leaves us with 2 kittens at the PetSmart who have a potential adopter lined up, but we also think they're going to flake out. Kind of waiting for Amanda to come in to take over the talking part of this, fill in the details. She's talking to someone on the phone, I can tell. Alright, she's not going to come save me. So I guess I'll just give out all the details. So Mama Jean was adopted, which you may have seen happen on the stream by a woman named Nicole, and we have gotten updates from her that like she's immediately taken to her and has been following her around her house and slept in her bed, and as far as we know, there have been no kind of potty accidents or anything like that. So it sounds like Jean's adoption went great. Next to go were Maeve and Ruby were adopted together. And I don't know if we've gotten any updates on them. They did have their names changed to, I believe it's Toasty and Mocha, and I'm not sure who is who. And then after that, Amy and Eric were adopted. There were 2 adoption events this past weekend, Friday and Saturday. And I actually stopped by on Saturday. Amanda went to the Saturday one, so I stopped by because she took Betty with her, and I stopped by to pick Betty up to do some stuff. And when I got there, there was this family, like an older couple who had a 13-year-old daughter that were hanging out by the crate with our cats. And it's that couple or that family. And the daughter was clearly taken by them. Like, she was very enamored by them. And so Eric and Amy went to that family like later that Saturday. And that leaves Otis and Ola. So there is an older woman who was interested in them, but Amanda was like, I don't know if she's a great fit because these cats have a lot of energy. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Just on the phone talking, and I am losing my voice quickly. Hey, Aria, how are you doing? So all of our house cats are back. They were at 2 different locations. Our friend Bridget took Inara and Aria, and our other foster friend Cynthia took the boys, Moose and Bear. The girls came back when we came back, and the boys came back a little bit later yesterday. And everyone's doing good. Okay. And then we have company coming this week. They will be, I think they're coming over tomorrow and staying for a few days. I'm not sure how many days. So I'm not positive if Amanda wants to do a Wednesday chat. But maybe. And I'm sure we'll do a Saturday chat because they'll be gone by then. So all of our kittens who have either been adopted or are at the PetSmart, and they will probably not come back from the PetSmart to here. So Amanda has begun looking for new kittens. There was a group of like 3, I think I want to say 3-day-old Siamese kittens, bottle babies, that showed up at the shelter yesterday that she was trying to get, but somebody else got to them first. So I would expect something of that nature to show up here relatively soon. Amanda and the girls have spring break, so they're off for this week. Amanda goes back to school work next week. Girls have 2 weeks off. So this is a really good time for us to get, small bottle babies where Amanda can give them the full attention. So that's what she's looking for. And we'll see. Am I feeling okay? Never. I have psoriasis, and it affects a lot of things, and it seems like the most recent thing has been just I can't talk for very long anymore. You're here finally, yay.
My mom had called me right at.
I heard.
You look beautiful. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for talking to me.
I'm angry.
I know.
I'm angry because my kids have just been doing nothing but fighting all morning and making giant messes and not cleaning any of them up and just fighting with each other. And I'm ready to wring their own necks. Mom rage. Hi, Aria. Don't you look peaceful? Has she just been in here all morning?
No, she came in after breakfast. So only when I started shaving.
So, are you shaved?
Oh my God.
That's what you were doing when I was trying to get people to clean up and yelling at children?
I had already started. This is all morning. Sorry, I'm gonna come up.
Oh my gosh.
Tell people about this.
Aria, cutie, don't sit in front of the cat. I think the colors are a little bit off on your cam. A lot of sun coming through the window. No sound on YouTube. Zoom in. Was trying to see the kitty.
Oh my God.
Can't zoom on 6. Which 2 kitties are left? Ola and Otis. The claw. Amanda is our master. The claw chooses who will stay and who will go.
I will go.
You feeling okay?
No.
Hi, Amanda. You look beautiful. 2 Eames have been watching for 4.5 years. Need to bottle that look. Okay, cool. Hi, Aria. How's it going? What did you tell them so far?
Everything.
Everything. As in?
You talk to her.
Did you tell them about how Aria was while we were gone?
Not really. No, I didn't talk about our cats that much.
So we had to stay in a hotel for 5 days because work was being done on our house, which took longer than it was supposed to. At first, Aria, so all of our foster kittens 3 of them, Jean and 2 kittens, got adopted the weekend prior to us leaving the house, which was great. So then the remaining 4 went to PetSmart, which was very nice of the PetSmart people to make that happen because we kind of jumped the line in front of other people. And then we had to split up our personal cats, so the boys went to my friend Cynthia's and the girls went to my friend Bridget's, but Bridget couldn't keep the girls more than a couple days because she was leaving town. So when we discovered that our construction was going to take longer than it was supposed to, we realized, shit, not only did we need to leave the hotel that we were in because it was booked for the weekend,
Right.
but we needed to find a hotel where we could take our 2 girl cats because they could no longer stay where they were staying.
I didn't mention any of this part.
So we found, at this point, the girls were out of school and I was out of work. So we didn't need to stay close to like home, you know? So we were able to book a hotel that was kind of farther out, which honestly was in a nicer area.
Yeah.
And it was a much nicer hotel. And they allowed us to bring 2 cats, which was the first hotel I'd found, because initially we were looking at other hotels and some of them did say pet friendly, but they were all only dogs.
Yeah.
They wouldn't allow cats, it was just dogs. So when they say pet friendly, they don't really mean it. They just mean dog friendly.
Kudos to the Hilton. Hampton.
Yeah, Hampton Inn and Suites
Hampton
was
by
where we
Hilton.
ended up staying the second time, and it was so far superior to the first junky place we stayed at. It was very nice. Very, very nice. They let us bring the cats. It was lovely. But so when Aria and Anara, first of all, have never left our house for a stay somewhere.
Yeah.
They've left the house to like make a quick vet, trip for a couple hours and then come home. Anytime we've had to take a vacation or anything like that, they've stayed home and we've had somebody come to the house to take care of them. That's not true for the boys. The boys are only 2 years old, and oftentimes we have sent the boys to Cynthia's primarily when we're not home, because we can't really leave them and the girls alone together so much. So Arya and Nara were rightfully pretty freaked out when they got to Cynthia's. She kept them in her master bathroom, which probably is larger than our bedroom, in this room. Bridget lives in a really big, fancy, beautiful house. So they had a big, big space, but it was a confined space. There weren't like windows. It wasn't, they weren't running around with Bridget's other 4 cats or whatever. They were in their own space so that they could feel safe. But they just immediately ran and hid under the vanity sink thing in the bathroom and like did not come out. I think Anara was under there for 2 days. And then she finally came out on the 3rd day and was like letting Bridget and Bee pet her and, was wanting pets and was eating her food, using litter, doing all that fun stuff. But Aria never came out the entire time. From the moment Sam dropped her off and opened the carrier to let her out to the moment when he went with the carrier to like pick her back up 3 days later, she had not moved.
No, she did. She was just hiding in a different spot.
I don't think she, she went from behind the toilet to under the sink.
The other way, but she was behind the bathtub.
Okay,
but she kept hiding.
But yeah,
no matter what.
So I don't know if she ate or anything that whole time.
But she seemed skinnier to me.
Yeah. So so when he picked them up, took them to the new hotel, we put them in the bathroom there, which was also a pretty large bathroom. Anara was fine when he was meowing and wanting pets and whatnot. But she found this like in the sink, it had these kind of 2 cut out little cubby like shelf things. And immediately she went into one of those and just stayed in it like the whole time that we were there. She did eventually, when I would come in the bathroom to use the bathroom and I would like reach in there and pet her, she started coming out anytime that I was in the bathroom and then just like rubbing all over me and, meowing and wanting pets and stuff and rubbing all over everything in the bathroom. But she still wasn't eating. And Nara ate fine at the hotel. And Nara ended up coming out of the bathroom at the hotel and like just hanging out in the room with us for a while and stuff. And she was fine. But Aria didn't eat. And then when we finally made it home on Saturday, so we left Wednesday morning, made it home Saturday afternoon, and then she scarfed down a bowl of food.
Yeah.
Like, as if she hadn't eaten since Wednesday, which I don't think she had.
Probably had.
Crazy cat. She was stressed.
And I think she ate like the gravy from when I first put her at Bridget's. But, I don't think she completely starved herself.
Yeah, and the boys totally fine. Like the boys are at Cynthia's, lounging in the window, eating, going to the bathroom, meowing, like totally fine. Moose was like hissing at the other cats, but they were kept in a separate room too. They were in a back bedroom. They weren't just like roaming the house with the rest of her cats. But they were totally fine. Like, it's just this one. This one was stressed, so she was really happy to be home yesterday. She was very happy to sleep with me last night. Yeah, I know. That was our big adventure. He told us he's tried losing his voice. Tired of losing his voice. Playlist was giving me a run. I thought only Amanda forgets the litters. I don't know what that means. Did Valkyrie ever spend days in the Tesco pen?
Yeah. I think so.
I don't remember because she wasn't that little when we got her. She was like 6 weeks old.
I feel like
when we got her, and Viking were separated. So she may have not been in a Tesco. She may have been in a tent because they were definitely separate for 2 weeks. But I feel like she started in this bedroom and he was in another room.
Yeah.
Before we could, because she had to be like in isolation for 10 days before they could be introduced.
Right.
So I think that may have happened. I think he might have been somewhere else and she was in here. I don't remember exactly, to be perfectly honest. That was so long ago.
Right.
I don't remember what the setup was
for
Valkyrie and Viking in the beginning. But then they were adopted, Well, no, I guess we did have them for a while. They weren't adopted right away. They got pretty big. Aria.
That's just a thought.
Did they do a pet deposit? For the hotel, they didn't have a pet deposit, but they did have just a pet fee.
Yeah.
And for the 2 cats, it was like a one-time $50 fee, which was good for up to a 4-day stay. And then I imagine if you're staying more than 4 days, you pay like another $50 fee or something like that.
Right.
How is a cat worse than a dog? Yeah, I don't know. Is she happy to see you or angry with you? She's definitely happy to see us, for sure, 100%. When Simba was young, I had to bring him to my ex's every weekend because my roommates were feral humans eventually. He just started sleeping in the crate, so if we stopped to take after, just slept with it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think, when cats travel often, they definitely get used to it. Definitely more used to it than cats who never leave their house. And Aria in particular is just like such a finicky cat. And not finicky is the right word. Like she's just like, yeah.
Grumpy old man cat.
Grumpy and also just like not confident.
Yeah.
She's a scaredy cat. I don't know, probably several single tabby kittens that we trusted with our bedspread.
Yeah. Once they're, past a certain age.
Yeah, once they're past a certain age and they've never had accidents, and like if there's just 1 or 2 of them, we generally will just leave our
Don't
bed.
worry about the bed.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much once they figured out how to jump out of the Tesco.
We also do that a lot with moms too. The only issue with Jean was that she was peeing on our bed. So we stopped doing it. We didn't do that with Jean, but initially we did. But like, Cutie and Bonito were on our bedspread.
Yeah.
When it was just the 2 of them.
Right.
Maybe Pickle. maybe Valkyrie, I don't know.
I feel like Valkyrie and Viking probably were.
And then when we had like Cloudy and Stormy, we didn't even have the whole like, we didn't do like the plastic sheet and like the kitten sheets and like whatever. We just had our bedroom set up like a normal bedroom.
I don't think we had any.
We didn't really have any of the cat stuff that we have now. And
what if we
and
have...
I will say that Cloudy peed on our bed multiple times, which was kind of what made us decide we needed a different setup.
Right.
Like, because I was getting really pissed off about that.
What if we have Arya's litter in? Did we have a test bill by then?
I don't think so. I think we had a crate. We used crates. We used dog crates in the beginning for most of our litters.
Right.
In the beginning, we would put them in dog crates at nighttime. Jean was peeing on the bed. Yes, Jean peed on our bed like 4 times. Which is why we have this bedspread on our bed right now and not our down comforter. Because eventually I just said, don't put the down comforter on the bed anymore. Because she would do it like in the morning time or at night when we had taken the plastic and off and put our bedding on so that we could sleep in the bed. She did it like once at night when we were getting ready to go to sleep and it was like the lights were off and everything. She did it once in the morning time once I think Sam had already gotten up, but I was still sleeping or something.
Maybe.
I don't remember. She did it at least 3 times. So as of right now, we have Otis and Ola who are still available for adoption. Amy and Eric got picked up yesterday. So on Saturday, when I did the adoption event, I had potential adopters for both pairs of kittens. Hey, it came up.
Yay!
And the potential adopter for Otis and Ola, I think today changed their mind. So they are still available. They are still at PetSmart. They're also listed online, so hopefully I get some applications for them soon. I don't know. And that's it. We still have Marty and George at the Cat Cafe, which they have been bugging me to make them an online listing, so I really need to do that like soon.
Moonlight Mode asks, if I can get this stupid thing to work, how do you pick adopters?
So it's kind of a lengthy process. We Kittenrescue sort of has their set of guidelines, which we're supposed to adhere to. They will not allow you to adopt out single kittens. So like if you have, a 2-month-old or a 3-month-old kitten, and if the family who wants to adopt them doesn't have any other cats, then they need to adopt another cat. Or if they have another cat, that's fine, but they don't want them to be like single kittens. But it's preferred that they be a playful, like playmate for the new kitten. It's not really encouraged to adopt like a new kitten to somebody who has a 12-year-old cat at home, because the 12-year-old is not going to want to play with the new kitten. The whole idea behind no single kitten is that, the kittens will have playmates while they're very young and playful and active and brains are still developing and all that stuff. They have like an indoor only policy. They just have different policies in effect that are, some of them are kind of loose guidelines, like no declawing, that kind of thing. You're not allowed to adopt out a cat to anybody who's going to declaw the cat, anybody who's going to keep the cat as an outdoor cat or an indoor-outdoor cat, all that kind of stuff. So they have their set of guidelines, and then there is an adoption questionnaire or application that applicants fill out, answers a lot of questions, and then we follow up with more questions if we have more questions. We usually do a meet and greet, which can be at like an in-person adoption event, or the adopter can just schedule one with the foster parent, and then they meet up and have a little meet and greet. We also, Kittenrescue requires home visits. So we used to do home visits in person, which is why we only adopt out locally. But since the pandemic, we switched to doing home visits via video chat, and that works out okay. It's definitely a lot more convenient and a lot less driving around for me, which is nice. And then there's like a contract to sign and an adoption fee to pay. And the fee covers all the medical stuff that has been done for the cats, like spay, neuter, vaccinations, microchip, etc. And we don't have like a first come, first served policy. So the first person who applies for a cat or kittens isn't necessarily guaranteed to get them. We try to match up sort of the best adopters, best match for the individual cats or kittens based on the cats and kittens needs. Various cats and kittens need different things. We're looking for different things based on who we're adopting out, what have you. But the nice thing is that I get to choose the adopters for my foster cats and kittens. So I get to know them, and that just helps me feel good about who they end up going home with. Because if it's somebody that I don't like or I don't have a good feeling about, I don't have to adopt them.
Yeah.
It's a lot more work on my end to, email people, set up meetings, do home visits, like all that kind of stuff is a lot more work for sure. Because I have to email even people I don't intend to adopt to. But it's nice to know where they're going and that they're going to go to a good home. Very long-winded answer to your question.
Oh, that one's with Gene Pass, I hope.
The peeing on the bed.
Well, when we switched, yeah.
I mean, yeah, when we stopped using our comforter, she didn't pee after that, but that was also like toward the end. And we just got into the habit of like the minute we woke up in the morning, taking everything off the bed. And I think it was like important that her litter gets scooped every night before we went to bed too. I think that was important. I mean, as far as I know, it hasn't happened at her new adopter's house. We don't really know why. It could have been because she wasn't happy with, the state of the litter boxes. It could have been that the down comforter was attracting her and making her want to pee on it, which is a thing that happens often with cats and down comforters or down pillows. It could have been that she was stressed out by the other cats here because she knew full well that Moose and Aria and all these other cats were just outside the door. And she was very protective of her kittens. So she could have been stressed from that, I don't know why she was doing it. There's like any number of reasons why she could have been doing it. But I do know that she's doing awesome at her new home. She follows around her new adopter like a shadow. She's started playing, which she never did here. So, I think she's doing great. I haven't heard anything about her peeing anywhere, so it's probably just a stressful environment for her.
Hey, Ormic.
Hi, Ormic.
Moonlight says, what do you think about keeping siblings together?
We try to keep siblings together whenever possible. Almost all of our adoptions are kittens adopted in pairs. And as well, frequently when we have moms with kittens, we generally will adopt out the mom with one of the kittens as well. Not always. It depends on their temperament and, what we feel fits their needs best. And a few other factors can come into play too. In general, I would say 90% of our adoptions have been pairs. But occasionally we do have to split kittens up if it's, depending on the time of year, the season, if it's a really, really slow time for adoptions and we're having a hard time getting cats adopted. But we always, send them to a house that has another cat or a playmate or something like that. But we try to keep siblings together when possible. This particular litter that we just had, I was very adamant that all 6 of them were going to go in pairs because this time of year and like how cute the kittens were and how tiny the kittens were, I knew that I would not have an issue finding adopters for them quickly in pairs. I even had people, so like the first weekend that they were available, 2 got adopted, and then within, less than a week, 2 others got adopted. And then I had some people last weekend go, and these ones have to go in pairs, and we're like, yes. And they were like, are you sure? And we're like, yes. And they were like, but is there any way we can switch around? And we're like, no. Like me and Cynthia and Jane, we're all like, move along, lady, move along. Like, no. And I know that there is an adopter right now who's looking for a calico kitten, and she's got one of the Kittenrescue fosters like on the lookout for her, and she keeps messaging me. And she's like, I know you said that both of your pairs were spoken for, but I'm hearing from Shayna that there is a calico still at PetSmart. Is that one of yours? Did the adoption fall through? And I'm like, yes, it did, but I'm very adamant that they're going in pairs. I'm not splitting them up. Yeah. So move on. More calicos will be available soon.
Right. Janine says, is Twitch the only way to submit a question for later? The short answer is pretty much, but actually YouTube, when it wants to work, and I haven't even tested this, does have a question command. The beauty of the Twitch thing is that it's just a channel point. It says save a question. It's relatively straightforward. On YouTube, you can do !Q and then write out the question, and it should work the same way. I have not had time to test it, and the YouTube does not always connect to the chat bot, so I don't have a lot of confidence that it's always going to work. But anyone could always just ask a question on the Discord and be like, please answer that in chat. Or if we see a question and I think it's really good, I will bring it up in the chat. So, yes, but no. Janine asks, do Jean's people work at home? She'd love that.
Yes, they do. So the woman who adopted her has like a kind of like a hybrid schedule. So she only has to go into work like twice a week, and the rest of the time she works from home. And that was basically a requirement for me for Jean. Because I was planning adopting Jean as an only pet to like someone who didn't have other pets, because I wasn't sure how she got along with cats and dogs. She didn't get along with the cats here, so I didn't really have a good way of like testing that out. And I knew she wasn't going to go with the kittens. So because she was going to be an only cat, I was very adamant that there was no way I was going to adopt her to somebody who like worked a 40-hour work week and was rarely home. So the woman who adopted her is home a lot.
Okay. Great.
There's like all this cat hair all over me.
Okay.
Give me that brush.
So commands always start with an exclamation mark, not a question mark. So now we have a blank question that has been logged because I went to clarify in the chat. So that command does, of course, work on both Twitch and YouTube. But I wanted to submit one now. I don't want everyone to look at it. Well, I don't know how to change that.
You'll have to wait till the chat's done.
I mean,
if you want to submit a private question, just do like a whisper.
Oh, hang on. Let's see if I can actually make that a thing. Save a question. Yes.
Why do you want to save a question now when we're here?
I know, we're right
Just
here.
ask the question. If you want it to be private, just do a DM or something.
Don't do a DM. I never see those.
Well, if she tells us she's doing it, then you can look for it, dummy.
No. What there is a way? I guess that's just for everything. Huh. Well, that's all I want to do. Okay. I could technically set it up so the minute you submit or trigger that command, it deletes the prompt, and then you'll only see the question has been logged thing. But I feel like with YouTube, since it doesn't always work, then people wouldn't know if it works or not. So I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm going to get more coffee. Is that a thing you want? Okay, I'm back. Wish my cat would let me brush her. I try and she runs.
Yeah, if we weren't in this room, she might run. But because she's in here, there's like nowhere to go. I also think this brush just must feel really good because Jean really likes to be brushed by this brush too.
Jean says I could do YouTube. Not many viewers are. Yeah. If you don't care, go for it. Oh, paradise. No moose and brushing. Yes.
She's just like got so much cat hair that's coming out of her. Like,
yeah.
She probably needs a hairball treat too.
Oh yeah, I didn't give them any last night because these were in here. I need to take these. She's gonna eat it just now. She's gonna eat it next to the table. Alright. They just get used to them. What girl are you? You actually like them now? What? Okay, bye. Yeah, that's a small child. A small kitten of hair. Okay. How long is Hillary and Coda going to be here?
For 3 nights probably, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then I think they're leaving Friday.
Okay. Do you think we'll still do a chat Wednesday?
I don't
Probably
know.
not.
Maybe not, yeah.
Okay.
Unless we have like new kittens. If we have
Sure.
new kittens, we might do a short one.
Yeah. So like we have a lot to say otherwise.
Right.
Okay.
But yeah, unless there's nothing new here, then we'll just wait until Saturday, because that would be kind of rude.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. So yeah, I would not expect us to do a chat on Wednesday. And I will try to get this chat saved and uploaded to YouTube as quick as possible. So anybody comes in and they're like, hey, what's new? Point them to it. Do we get to watch Aria till new kittens arrive? So I will do the playlist with a live picture in a picture, at least during the days. I don't know how easily she'll be to find on camera and all of that, but yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Should I do playlist with picture in picture, or should I just leave it up and leave the door open?
No, I don't want the screen on with the door open and the sound on and everything.
Oh, definitely mute it. All right. Yeah, I think picture in picture.
Yeah, you can do a pic and then just sound off.
Yeah. Since we have company. coming.
Or, I mean, there's litter and we can leave the door closed. She can stay in here with the door closed.
Okay.
There's litter and water in here. And if she wants to come out, she'll meow or scratch at the door or whatever. Which the only time she's gonna want to come out is when
Food.
you have, when you're feeding them.
All right. So
I'm
then.
sure she would much rather just stay in here with the door closed so nobody bothers her.
Okay. So Aria Cam it is, I guess. We went full 360 on that.
Yeah, for me, it's just
So
a matter of
180?
like having the door open and the sound on and stuff.
Well, I wouldn't have the sound on either way. Oh my god.
But no, not the door open.
Okay.
Because Betty's room is right there, and the girls, you never know
Yes.
what stupid thing I'm gonna do.
All right.
Yesterday, like the cutest litter of bottle babies
Oh, I told them.
popped up in my inbox, and I responded in less than 10 minutes, and I was like, I will take them. And then somebody was like, oh, I already found them. And I was like, because it was so cute. Dang it. Kittenrescue is trying to get me to take another mom with 5 babies, and I'm just like, ugh, I just don't want to. I'm burnt out. Burnt out on moms right now. And I really was looking, this whole, like, ever since the bottle babies started showing up on the regular, since like January, I've just been like, I'm not taking bottle babies yet. I'm not taking bottle babies yet. As soon as I get this litter adopted, like as soon as I'm done with this litter, I'm going to get some bottle babies. And I've like resisted the urge to respond to any of the bottle baby notifications, telling myself as soon as, my current litter was gone, I would get bottle babies.
Right.
And now they're like, take another mom with kittens. And I'm like, no, I don't want to. I'm burnt out with having moms and like,
Sure.
just older kittens. Like, I need a break. I also just don't want kittens that are going to be ready for adoption soon. I need, like, after doing all these adoptions, I need a break from adoptions for a few months.
YouTube title needs to be updated. Well, I don't update it just for the chat, but when we switch over to Aria, I will update all of the titles.
Are we happy to be home again and not in a hotel? Yes, we are. Although I'm just like stressed now because my cousin is coming to stay with us. My cousin and her son.
Yeah, I wish this was just a week off.
And like, our house is a mess and our kids are fighting and I'm kind of grumpy.
Yeah, they're.
And are you all over the face?
Oh.
It's like not coming off.
Are you getting ready? Are you getting ready to wrap up? Yes. Yes. Yeah, we usually only do half an hour on Monday. So yeah.
If I had been in here at noon like I was supposed to be, we'd probably be done already.
That's true. Send them outside. I mean, we try, but we need them to clean their rooms. Or Betty needs to clean her room so that Iris can stay in there because our company is going to be staying in Iris's room.
I had cleaned Iris's room before we went to the hotel, and now it's a freaking disaster. Did you see all that crap she took out?
She set tooth fairy traps.
She lost her tooth while we were at the hotel last night. So last night she put her tooth under her pillow, and she got out all these like pots and pans from her play kitchen and set them all up in front of the door so she could like trap the tooth fairy when the tooth fairy came in, so she could prove that it was me. And you know what? She failed. I'd just like to point that out.
Because a man is a ninja. I forgot you already had daylight savings. Yes. But don't worry, I am going to archive this chat
Yes,
and have it
means
up soon.
I tell them that all the time.
What?
If they don't clean up their stuff, I'm gonna box it up. And we have boxed up things and taken them out to the garage before, and they've just stayed in the garage for months and months. And I've gotten rid of some things that have been out in the garage for a very long time. But it doesn't really motivate them. Occasionally it will motivate Betty, but Iris doesn't give 2 Fs. Iris gives 0 Fs when it comes to threats of any kind. She does not care.
No.
Her response is like, good. I don't want it anyway. Like, she's just like, oh, she's such a little snot. I love my children dearly. Yeah, they won't care. I bribe them with candy, money.
Yeah.
Betty will motivate, especially if she knows she's going to get paid, like an allowance or something like that. Iris just has to want to do it for herself. Like, she has to be in the mood to help. She has to be in that mood where she really wants to be helpful. Then she will do things. But if she's not in that mood, or if she's in a bad mood at all, she's just like, F everybody, I don't care. I don't want to help. And this morning, her and Betty have just been fighting constantly, so
yeah,
nobody's in a good mood.
It's been fun times.
And this room needs to be cleaned to prepare for whoever is coming next.
Yeah.
I keep checking my phone because I want to catch the babies.
Gotta catch them all.
Like, Karina's like, here's this adorable litter. So you guys, did you tell them what the litter looks like?
A little bit, but not really.
I'm going to show you a picture.
Send it to me and I'll post it on the Discord.
It was 4 3-day-old bottle babies. All of them were white, so probably Siamese or color points. And one of them, at least one of them, if not all of them, were like super fluffy. One of them had like that really wavy hair to it, like Sun had. So you know it was gonna be like a really fluffy, long-haired kitten. Look at this.
Here, just send me the picture and I will post it on the Discord.
And this one over here is like definitely long-haired. But all of them might have been. And definitely a Siamese. You can tell it's like ears are gray. But come on now.
You're not gonna send it to me at all.
How rude. Yes, exactly. I saw them and I was just like, I'll take them. I got like all my kittens are gone, you know? Like yesterday we finally made it home. I had an adoption. I thought I had another adopter lined up. I was like, this is like perfect timing. My kittens are gone. We're back home. I'm on break all this week, so I can easily bottle feed. And I was like, yes. And I got really excited. And I'm like, where do I pick them up? And then she was like, oh, I already found a foster for them. I'm like, I messaged you like 7 minutes after you posted that. How? Grr. And then she's like, I'll let you know tomorrow. We've been having bottle babies come into the shelter every day. I'll let you know tomorrow when we get more. And it's going to be just my luck. It's going to be like 4 black kittens or 5 brown tabbies or some
Alright,
crap.
it's posted in the general channel on Discord. You can get a closer look. Yeah.
And I really can't take a litter of any bit, like even 4 is stretching it. I was thinking 2 or 3 would probably be good for me. 4 if they're like that.
Alright,
But
so,
like really anything more than that would be too much, because eventually when I do go back to work, I'm going to have to take them to work with me for at least like a week or 2 and try and feed them while I'm at work. And if it's too many kittens, it'll take too long.
right.
and it won't work out.
Okay, so it looks like Janine submitted the saved question, so let's do that really quick.
But she didn't want us to look at it, or she didn't want other people to look at it or see it, or
Well, it's
does she want it
saved,
answered
so
in secret?
No, I assume the whole point was. I'm just doing it because I gotta go through this method, or the number's gonna stay there forever. All right, so the first one's the mess up that I was like, this is how that works. Oh, it's interesting. It uses the command in there as well, and then. No, so then it is in here. Alright, anyway, Amanda bottle feeds so many kittens. Does she ever watch other people bottle feed online? It's the same as that.
Like, if I'm like scrolling and I come across a video of somebody bottle feeding, I would definitely watch it. But I'm not like
specifically seeking it
opening up my computer and going, I'm going to go to YouTube and like
right.
search for bottle feeding videos. Like, I don't do that. I don't like specifically seek them out and look for them because like, why? I don't know. I don't have the time.
Right.
But if I was like scrolling through Instagram and one or like, you know, whatever, and like a video popped up, I would definitely watch it.
Okay.
I will say for sure that like when I first started bottle feeding, I was not very confident in my bottle feeding skills, and it was pretty sloppy. And some of the footage that we have of me bottle feeding, you know, like in those early years, I cringe sometimes when I watch it now. I'm like, oof, oh, you know. But at this point, I am 100% an expert. Like I'm not trying to be like cocky or anything, but like bottle feeding, it comes so easy to me, no matter the age or condition of the kitten, really.
Right.
And a lot of it just has to do with like not being stressed out about it, and just realizing that like even if they only eat a tiny bit, or even if they don't latch for the first day, like it's fine, you know, as long as they're getting a little bit, like that it takes a few days to establish, the same way it takes several weeks to establish breastfeeding a human child. Right. It takes, you know, a few weeks to establish the bottle feeding and stuff, and like not to just like I used to stress about it, right. And because I felt like I was doing it wrong or something, or like if the kitten didn't poop right away or every day, I would stress out about it. And now I just realize that kittens don't poop a lot. Yeah. Like they just don't. And it's fine. Yeah. Right. I also have, there's like a video in our playlist of me bottle feeding specifically 3 kittens of Bridget's that I temporarily had for a few days.
They're very fluffy.
And they're very fluffy. And one of the, so if they were still establishing bottle feeding, so they weren't like great at it. And then it was 2 girls and a boy, and the boy had flat chest syndrome, really bad. And he could not be bottle fed because he couldn't be held the same way. So like with him, we were trying to wean him. So in the video, you'll see that I'm like bottle feeding the 2 girls, and it's a little bit awkward because I wasn't super good at it, but they were fine, and I wasn't super good at it, and they also hadn't really like established a good latch and stuff on the bottle yet. So I was awkward and they were awkward. So it's not like the prettiest bottle feeding to watch me do the 2 girls. And then with the boy, while I did try to bottle feed him a little bit, I was primarily trying to get him to eat solid food because the bottle feeding was so awkward for him because he couldn't be held like a normal kitten because we couldn't put any pressure on his chest at all. Bridget was like, let's just try and get him to eat solid food as soon as we can. So I'm doing that in the video. So I'm like trying to shove solid food in his mouth. I keep going kind of back and forth between the food and the bottle because I'm just trying to get anything in him that I can. But also when I was bottle feeding him, I was kind of holding him in a really awkward way, like by the skin on the back of his neck or by like his shoulders, because I couldn't put my thumb or like my fingers around his chest. Yeah. And that video makes me cringe every time because I'm like, unless you know exactly what's happening or that he had the flat chest syndrome,
Right.
you'd be like, what in the hell is this woman doing to this poor kitten? Like, it just looks bad. And so I kind of cringe when I see that video too, because I'm just like, ugh. And it was just like early on, like now I can feed them in my lap and I'm super comfortable. But when I first started doing it, I would do it a lot at like a table or a desk and like have it, and I just wasn't as like comfortable with it as I am now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, should we wrap it up? Let's get on with our day and stuff. Unless there's any pressing questions. Thanks for hanging out, gang. We'll be back Saturday unless something crazy happens. And then we'll come back Wednesday to update briefly. Yeah, that's all for today. If you've got an Instagram account and fur pals you want to share with us and the rest of the crew, use hashtag Cuteavalanche and they'll appear here at the end of every, how do I point backwards? Every show. That's Jesus. All right, have a good one. I guess we'll leave it on Aria now.
And our Otis and Ola are available for adoption if you know anybody.
Yeah.
Spread the word. I was trying to find. My Instagram is always changing. How do I get to my messages?
There we go. Oh, that's not how I do that. My bad. There. Alright. Iris, we're coming out. What's up? What are you doing?
No, Iris here.
Okay, I'm muting.
Edgar, how does the disco ball turn on?
You just have to turn that plug on. So,
Turn on the disco ball.
I don't even think I have a command for that right now. I'd have to go into my phone, into a thing, and I want to get out of this room, honestly.
The disco balls only turn on once.
That's not true.
It is.
It's not. I've seen it on multiple times, but we just don't do it anymore.
I've only seen it on once.
Okay, well, I'm stepping out. Do it another time. Good luck.